Good evening and welcome to the Business Day. I'm Javon Keys. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, says inflation has been easing since its last outlook in October. Chief economist at the multilateral peer, Olivier Gorinchas, says this is the case in a number of countries except for Argentina.
Global headline inflation will decline to 4.9% this year, down 0.4 percentage point from our October projection. For advanced economies, inflation will average around 2.6% this year, close to central bank targets. With the improved outlook, risks are now broadly balanced. On the upside, disinflation could happen faster than anticipated, allowing central banks to ease sooner.
He says there are a number of risks that could threaten the inflation outlook.
Fiscal consolidation measures may be delayed in what is the biggest global election year in history. This could boost economic activity, but also spur inflation and increase the prospect of disruption later. On the downside, renewed geopolitical tensions, especially in the Middle East, with increased attacks on ships in the Red Sea, could disrupt commodity and supply chains. Core inflation could also remain high as services inflation proves more persistent, and wage developments could also add to price pressures. Finally, financial conditions could tighten, raising long-term interest rates and putting renewed pressures on economies and governments.
Now back home, the National Commercial Bank, NCBJ, says it is adjusting its online transaction limits. The bank says this is necessary to enhance access controls in light of increased levels of cyber attacks, especially phishing and smishing. Now, effective today, the default limits for transactions done via the personal banking platform have moved. The third-party transfers to NCB account holders, wire transfers, and transfers to other banks now have a daily limit of $150,000, down from $500,000. The monthly limit for these transfers is now $500,000, coming from $1 million. That's for NCB third-party transfers and transfers to other banks, and $1.5 million for wire transfers. The daily limit for bill payment and transfers between personal accounts remain at $2 million per day. Now, NCB says customers can request for the limit to be adjusted upward if they wish. To some company news, the receivership involving digital and creative firm Icreate has ended. The Business Day understands that the company has paid off the sums owed to Sagicor Investments as part of a $24 million bond. Now, in December 2023, Icreate was placed into receivership for failure to meet its payment obligation under the bond. The facility was issued in February 2020. Now, our news center spoke with a licensed insolvency practitioner and the head of business recovery services, Kenneth Tomlinson, who was appointed receiver manager at Icreate. He confirmed that the company made payment sometime this week and should be fully discharged in the hands of the management. The listed company is led by CEO and founder Tyrone Wilson. Now, he's called a press briefing for Friday morning to address the concerns surrounding the receivership. And of course, we'll track that for you. Let's head to the currency market. Trading ended with banks and Cambio selling the US dollar for an average $156.42. The Canadian is going for $117.40. The pound is selling for $198.63, while the euro is trading at $171.45. And the JSE index gained 609 points today, while the junior market index lost 36 points. Among the 38 winners were cargo handlers, JMB Group, Carbon Flavors and Fragrances, Lasco Distributors, and Proven Group US dollar shares. The 51 losers included First Rock Real Estate Investments US dollar shares, Epley 7.75% preference shares, Caribbean Cream, MFS Capital Partners, and 138 Student Living. Now 12 stocks traded firm. And that's it for the Business Day. I'm Javon Keys. Good evening.